As a white woman who grew up in a predominantly black area, where I've definitely been the only white person in the room on lots and lots and lots of occasions, I've never been in fear. I've never been afraid. I've never been worried about my safety. With that being said, as a white woman with biracial children, I don't give a fuck if it's their cousins. My boys will not be the only black child in the room.
This whole Nolan Wells case is just getting crazy. I mean, every time I turn around, every week, there's something. We had the Carmelo Anthony, the Cyrus Carmack Belton, Nolan Wells. You had a sister hung down there in Florida. There was another brother that's hung. We in the Make America Great Again. Take everything from the federal government, roll it back to the states. Allow the states to make decisions. This is all part of what this regime under Donald Trump wanted, right? Because we fought to get federal provisions to protect us because state law failed to do it. We already knew, those of us as historians know the history of what these states was allowing to happen to us as foundational black Americans. The history is well documented, right? So when we get to this Nolan Wells, man, remember, he went off on the boat with 4 guys. Those 4 guys returned. He didn't. They returned with his phone. He returned 2 days later in the body bag drowned, right? The W girl, Katie McCormick, who he was trying to kick it with, she's saying that she's cooperating with police. There's a whole lot of things, but we had this woman, Ashlee Cole, who was the stepmother of one of the boys, right? She put out a long statement, right, about her stepson. This whole thing, and what we're seeing now, it's looking like it's a cover-up. Right? There's a lot of white people in America that don't like this. They're speaking out about this. I mean, they're coming out in droves and they're saying this is wrong and they're tired of it. There's a lot of W folks that are tired of this stuff and they don't want their children. I want y'all to remember something too. We live in an integrated society in America, right? There's a lot of W folks, men and women, that have interracial children. They have children that look more like me than them. So they understand how their people are. You heard what that W woman said. They know their people more than we do. And she know that her children won't get the same treatment mine get. So she's in fear, right? And they're telling the truth. They're telling the truth. So Benjamin Crump and them, they see all kinds of inconsistencies in this case.
You mentioned earlier there are some contradictions.
Yes.
What gives you confidence or perhaps concern about the investigation so far?
Well, the fact that they continue to tell the family that we don't see any evidence of any foul play, even though you have students who recorded an altercation while they were on the boats of argument where you had Nolan and somebody yelling at one another on the boat. So that's an issue. And then you have the young lady make a statement and she says, well, Nolan and I finished talking, and Nolan said he was going back to the boat. And then the boys on the boat said, no, Nolan told them he was going to stay with her. And so they are conflicting. She's saying he went and got on the boat. They saying he didn't get on the boat. So which is it? And all we know is Nolan is dead.
So people all over are poking holes in these theories and these stories because it just doesn't make any sense. Now, he was on a boat with Wyatt Warren and Eric, right? Wyatt Warren and Eric. They all left together. Wyatt Warren and Eric returned with a cell phone, right? I wouldn't be surprised now when the toxicology report come back, they say that he was on some type of controlled substances. He was drunk. And they try to say that he was with Katie McCormick. And Katie was like, no, we talked briefly. We talked briefly for a second. And then he said he had to go back with his friends. Don't put me in it. My name Bennett, I ain't in it. Right? And that's what she's saying. So she's fully cooperating with police. But it seems like to me that powerful authorities down there are trying to cover this up. Right? And there's a lot of W folks that's not allowing that. This is not like the Carmelo Anthony case. There's a lot of W folks that's not with it. Right? They're not with it. Because they saw how Carmelo Anthony was railroaded. And a lot of them was quiet. Now it happens again. A lot of them are starting to speak out. Right? So the stepmom, Ashlee, she come out and she made a statement and people are starting to talk.
Judge Ashlee Cole has returned on Facebook. She deactivated it. Now she's back. And she put out a statement last night. Just a quick reminder. Ashlee Cole is the stepmother of Warren Hudson. Warren Hudson is one of the friends that was on the boat with Nolan Wells on the 4th of July. So we're just going to talk about the statement. Let's go through it real quick. Judge Cole opens up with, "Our family, along with the community, grieves the loss of Nolan Wells. Our thoughts and prayers are with Nolan's family. Our son, Warren, loved Nolan deeply. Unfortunately, I feel that it is appropriate for our family to dispel some rumors with facts based upon social media attention that is being diverted away from the Wells family and their loss. Yes, I deactivated my Facebook, given the very heightened emotional state of social media right now. I fear for the safety of my child and my children. My husband and I have 6 children, and we covet their privacy. We do not believe it is appropriate for our minor children's photographs to be circulated through the internet, presenting potential threats to their safety. I graduated high school with Christine Wells Wansley, who is Nolan's mom. We are from the same community. I have the utmost respect for her and all of the Wells family. We mourn the loss of Nolan with them. Our prayers have been and will continue to be with them. My husband and I were not at Horn Island at any point on the 4th of July. No one in our family is trying in any way to impede with the investigation by law enforcement or to otherwise hamper the family and law enforcement's quest for answers. Warren has been interviewed by the Jackson County Sheriff's Department and cooperated fully. He saw Nolan last at around 3 p.m. on July 4th. They left around 4:30 p.m. when the boat was taking on water and they had an issue with the bilge pump. Nolan made a decision to stay on the island and return inland later with another group of friends. Yes, I am a judge. I also value transparency. I apologize if anyone was offended that I deleted my social media. There were no nefarious motivations in deleting my social media. Social media has a lot of positives, but a whole lot of negatives. We live in a world of clickbaiting, sad but true. My family is hopeful that this information will help to redirect the attention to the Wells family, their grief, and their need for community's support. So my first thought after reading all of this is there's no justice for Nolan. It just feels very emotionless to me. And again, some of y'all are mad in my comments, but these are my opinions. These are my opinions. It feels emotionless to me. In my opinion, it's giving detached. I mean, obviously she's a judge. This statement was well thought out. Never want anything to happen to children. We shouldn't be threatening kids. That's crazy. I also didn't know until yesterday that Christine, who is Nolan's mother, and Ashlee Cole graduated together. So
now she was better off not making that statement, because that statement, we have an unalived teenager who went off with the people that you're connected to. There was no sympathy, no nothing. It was just like cold. And this is the way that a lot of them think, and the way that they are, the way that they handle it. So I want you guys to just understand, if this was 2 black kids, maybe let's just say 2 black kids and 1 Puerto Rican, right, or 1 Mexican kid with 1 white boy, and they went out there and the Mexican boy and the 2 black boys came back, oh, this whole country would be going crazy. I'm talking about it will be all over the place. And everybody knows that. Even the black conservatives know that. Everybody knows this, but that's something that people don't want to say, right? Because black life doesn't matter. It has never mattered in this country. Never, right? So this whole thing is crazy, but she wasn't done. Listen to the second half.
Way back is crazy and definitely probably brings way more emotion to this. Regarding the second half of her statement, I noticed a slight discrepancy with the time. So she said that he saw Nolan last at 3 p.m. on July 4th. They left around 4:30 p.m. when the boat was taking on water. Remember how Katie Hudson messaged the Facebook creator and she said he repeatedly asked Nolan to get on the boat at 5, okay? Didn't Judge Cole just say they last saw him at 3? But Nolan wanted to stay with a girl and their boat was parked next to his. He was insistent about staying with this girl. Wyatt asked him several times to please get on the boat and people heard him. My son loves him and would never in 1 million years leave him. Warren does not even have a boat. Nolan has been to our house several times and he is the sweetest friend. We all adore him. Again, when Wyatt asked for him to get on, he said he wanted to stay and Wyatt's boat started to fill with water. His boat ended up breaking down and was towed in. I don't know this girl he wanted to stay with. I can just tell you though, my son had nothing to do with it in any way, shape or form. Matter of fact, he was the first person that noticed he was missing when they got back to their friend's house and called his mother, the Coast Guard, and the sheriff's office. Warren is very responsible and he's always keeping up with everyone else. And now that I am reading this again, I am like, whoa, didn't you just say that that Nolan was insistent on staying with the girl who was Katie? But how is your son going to be the first one to notice that he's missing when they get back to their friend's house? If you just said that he wanted to stay with the girl, so how does that even make sense? If they knew he was going to stay with the girl, how are they all going to get back to their friend's house and be like, oh, he's missing? And how does the one black friend, you don't notice he's missing? And then she goes, my son loves him and never in 1 million years would leave him, but they did. They didn't stay on the island to look for him. It's delusional to me. But the biggest thing I noticed was the differences in time. If they were asking Nolan to get on the boat at 5, but Judge Cole said in her statement that he was last seen at 3, that's 2 hours of a difference. Remember, they're in the same damn family. Ashlee Cole is the stepmother and Katie Hudson is the mother of Warren Hudson. So how are your stories so different? I also keep thinking about this part of her message where she says, I brought my other son out there and saw my son Warren briefly. We took a picture, that we were not out there with them longer than like 10 minutes. So Ashlee Cole, the stepmother, is specifically saying he saw Nolan last at around 3 p.m. on July 4th. They left around 4:30 p.m. when the boat was taking on water. Keep that in mind. Katie, his mother, he repeatedly asked Nolan to get on the boat at 5 when it was time to leave. But Nolan wanted to stay with the girl and their boat was parked next to his. So was it 3 or 5 o'clock? Because a lot can happen in 2 hours.
So now this woman, Katie McCormick, is the woman that he was supposed to be talking to. But you have a lot of people online voicing their opinions on this. So you had this one guy, Marvy Polk. Another thing is, I'm standing behind Katie McCormick. I bet, yeah, he's standing behind her. You notice a black dude on there. He's standing behind Katie McCormick. That's, yeah, okay. I understand y'all don't know her, but me and 1,000 other of us literally slept, ate, and party at McCormick's house. Don't forget that's Dixie's child. Man, what the heck? Aubrey Smith, Katie talked to the police and the parents did everything she could possibly do to give her parents answers. The so-called friends still saying they don't remember none, huh? So this is them blowing the whistle on them boys, right? Alexis Keys said, I know damn well they're not talking about Katie. The whole family will give you the shirt off their backs. And then Katie McCormick said, what's understood don't have to be said. I love y'all. Just pray for his family and his friends. I'm good. All I can do is pray for healing over them. This is terrible, right? Then Kendrina McKinley said, we all know and love Katie. Nobody as far as my family is blaming Katie. We all, okay, that's the McKinley, yeah. We all love her and her whole family. She spent many events with our whole family in Three Rivers, right? So what gets even more crazy is they have his phone and they seeing some damning evidence in his phone, right? And the police now wants to seize the phone, right? But Ben Crump and them is saying this to Don Lemon.
As far as we know, his mother, Christine, and his father, Elmo, say they haven't gotten any answers. They, have been asked to turn over his cell phone to the Mississippi law enforcement authorities. But even that is troubling to them because they're saying messages that were deleted from his cell phone. So they want to try to dot every I and cross every T and investigate everything. They said it's very improbable that Nolan would not have wanted his cell phone with him if he was going to stay on the island.
Mm-hmm. The deleted text messages on his phone, his parents found that? Who found that out?
No, well, they got his phone, so they're trying to figure out there's deletions on the phone, and they're trying to look at what is that about. There's so many inconsistencies going on, and so we're going to have, with our investigators and our associates, we're going to list all the inconsistencies down. We just got onto the case yesterday, so we have been staying up late with the family, talking to friends, talking to people who were there on that 4th of July, trying to piece together what really happened to Nolan Wells. To have him flown to a medical examiner in Washington, D.C., where his body will be preserved to do an autopsy to study every aspect of if he had any physical injuries to his body beyond drowning.
Mm-hmm. And where are you in that process now?
The body is going to be flown today. We expect to have the results of that independent autopsy.
So we have to wait to see what the autopsy reveals, because I don't know, man. This thing gets real crazy. Just imagine how many of these cases happens around the country that don't get national press, that nobody talks about. Think of the historical stories of things that's happened to us that nobody cared about, right? They didn't care about. Nobody listened to our plight. So this stuff is just, it's coming to a head, man. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all think, man. What's y'all opinion on this, man? If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.